not only the position and not only the technique. We have to be smiling every single time because the most important thing for us is to give joy to the people who is watching us. It's not only to show that we are great dancers, but I think for us the most important thing is that they leave the theater with a smile in their faces.
I'm Caitlin, a former professional ballerina turned dance educator and career mentor, and this is the Brainy Ballerina Podcast. I am here for the aspiring professional ballerina who wants to learn what it really takes to build a smart and sustainable career in the dance industry. I'm peeling back the curtain of the professional dance world with open and honest conversations about the realities of becoming a professional dancer. Come along to gain the knowledge and inspiration you need to succeed in a dance career on your terms. Hello and welcome to the Brainy Ballerina Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Sloan, and I am joined today by Felix Molinero de Paso. Felix is a dancer with Le Ballet Trockadero de Monte Carlo, the world's foremost gender-skewering comic ballet company. The Trocks are a company of professional male dancers performing all of the roles, and in the case of roles traditionally danced by women, they are danced on travesty and on points. I am local to Madison, Wisconsin, and we are thrilled to have the Trocks touring to the Overture Center for one night only on Thursday, February 26th. And I am so honored to partner with the Overture Center to share this interview to help audiences in my area and anyone who is on the tour schedule for the Trocks to learn more about both the company and about Felix. So, Felix, I always love to start by asking my guests, why did you take your very first dance class?
So, hello to everybody. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And actually, it's very funny history. So, what happened is since I was a little kid, apparently, I have a big passion when I was out in weddings or bigger like events. When the music started, I was going all the way into the center of the dance stage and start to dance by myself since I was like 4 or 5. And my parents at some point decided like, hey, would you like to try for a school dance and see what happened? And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? I like to dance. So, I mean, I was like 7, 8 years old. So I was curious. I was a person who loved sports all my life. So I have done tennis, I have done volleyball, I have done many, many different things. So at that point of my life, I was, of course, okay, let's give it a try. So in order to join the dance school, they do like a physical exam, so where they see your capacities, your skills. And I have the best score possible, and I said, of course, let's give it a try.
Okay, and then from there, what was your training like growing up?
So it has been long. So I joined what it calls in Spain the Conservatory of Dance and Music. And during the first 4 years, in the elementary years, we do a different type of dance. Like they were involved ballet, contemporary, flamenco, and Spanish dance. After those 4 years, you need to decide in which one you wanna like really like take it all the way in. So you can decide from ballet, for contemporary, for flamenco, for Spanish dance. So I have an exam that I passed, and I was able to join the kind of like the mid school for ballet. So I was trained for 6 years. And after that, sadly in Spain, we don't have like a bachelor degree of dance, sadly. So I moved all the way to Frankfurt in Germany. And we have an audition, and I was lucky enough to be part of the Frankfurt University for Musical and Performing Arts. For 3 years, I continue my studies doing ballet, contemporary improv, contact improv. I have done variations, technical skills with the most incredible people around the world. And on my last year, I was lucky enough that Trocadero was touring in Germany in a city not that far from Frankfurt. So I sent an email. They answered me, hey, sure, you want to take a class with us? I was supposed to stay for a day, but at the end, I stayed the whole week. And when we finished, they give me the option to join them.
So before that, had you already been training on pointe?
Well, the funny thing, everything actually came because of my last year. I have the privilege to work with Andrea Tallis, which it was she was a principal in San Francisco Ballet. She was the person that William Forsythe trusted the most because she worked with him for so many years. And she told me once, "Hey Felix, like you have a very nice work on your feet. So what do you think about starting to use point shoes to continue and developing your technique?" And I was like, first of all, my first question was like, is it okay if I start to use point shoes? Nobody's there's gonna be any complaint. No, of course we are in a bachelor degree at this point. So of course it's a training thing, and I think it could be very helpful. So I did a couple of classes with the girls, and they I started to discover a little bit of how the point shoe work and like the point shoe works and how hard I realized how hard it is to go on to go on point and go up on those shoes. And at some point she told me, Felix, do you know about the level Trocadero, about the trucks? And I was like, of course, who doesn't know what Trocadero is? And she said, why do you don't just send in an email? Because she wasn't even sure where the base location was. She thought it was, everybody thinks like, so Ballet Trockadero de Monte Carlo, that the base is in Monte Carlo. And that's what she actually thought. And just write an email. There is nothing to lose. Just give it a try. And I was at the beginning, I was like, I I think it's a waste of time. Well, yeah, I know what is gonna be the answer. It's not gonna happen. And she was like behind my back a little bit, like for almost 2 or 3 weeks. And she and my colleagues like really encouraged me, and I trust them. And I sent an email, and that's how it happened.
Did you always see yourself join in a company like this?
No, not at all. This was a dream come true. Like I was so happy when I got the chance to join them. But of course, it's like, since you are a little kid and you see these incredible ballet dancers, female or male, it doesn't matter. Royal Ballet, you see American Ballet, which is the dream of every single kid. At those times, you think that it feels like it's gonna be unreachable. It's gonna be always the dream, but it's never gonna come true. So when I sent the email and I got the answer, just the fact that they invited me to take class, I was like in shock. I was like, oh, it's once in a life opportunity. I have to take it. And, once I was so nervous the first time I was there with them, taking classes with them and see how these incredible dancers, this incredible crew were working and performing. And they were for a full week in this city, in Leipzig. It was the name, if I remember well enough, performing. And I had the privilege to take class with them and see their journey for a full week, every single night, performing from Monday to Saturday with a double show on Friday. And I was like, how in the world are they doing this? Like every single night. And I was mesmerized. So I pushed myself. I tried my best. And when we end that week and Tori gave me the opportunity, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is a joke. Like, I'm a dream. Like, but yeah, after so many years, I'm still here and still loving this process and this very special journey. I think this is once in a lifetime opportunity that I think you really have to take it all the way in and live it fully. Because I think once I will be older, I want to really look back and see how privileged and how honored and how incredible has been this journey.
Having to dance both types of roles, on point and not on point, male, female, is there a different way that you train as a company or take class during the week to be able to do all those things?
Well, in this case, Rafael Mora, which is our ballet master, he creates the classes in order to be able to perform both of them. So the female, the or the male, because even on the same show, depends of the ballet, you might be on point, you might be on flat. So you really have to be ready for that show or whatever we are performing that night. So he really creates those classes in order to that everybody's ready. It doesn't matter if it's gonna be on point or if it's gonna be on demi point. And it's very important for us to warm up good before really going to the show because we have our class, we space, and they send us to do our, because we do our own makeup, and that normally they gave us between hour and a half and 2 hours. You really need to, to spend that time between the makeup, be completely ready, and really take your time to warm up for everything that it's gonna, you are gonna perform that night.
Is it challenging to be part of a touring company where you're in a different theater very often?
I mean, being completely honest, 100% honest, for me, it is a challenge because, you go out on tour for 1 month, 2 months, 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. But we are most of the time traveling. Your life is divided between planes, buses, suitcases, hotels. And so you really don't have a journey. We have our rehearsals in New York, but once they're done, we go on tour, and could be 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks. So we are all the time traveling. In my case, I love traveling and I love discovering new places. It doesn't matter if it's the US, it's Canada, it's Europe, it's Africa. It doesn't matter. I really love discovering new places, new cultures. But at the same time, I have to say it's hard. It's very hard. And suddenly one day you're in New York and the next day you wake up in Tokyo. And it's I don't know, 6 hours less than in New York. So your body has this jet lag thing. You need to get able to adapt. Or sometimes we perform on the top of a mountain where the pressure is very high. So the oxygen is very low. So your body has to readapt to all those situations. And sometimes we don't have that much time. It's really, you arrive there and the next day you perform and the next day you catch a plane or a bus, as I said. So it's a hard journey. It's not for everybody, but I'm very glad and happy because, as I said before, I love traveling. I love to discover and doing it, first of all, kind of for free and doing what I love. I love my job. I love what I do. So having those things together, I don't know. I'm very blessed for that.
Do you have any practical advice for dancers who may be going on tour to help them be able to deal with some of those challenges?
Definitely, what something that I have lived through my own experience is like every time that I go back to home to Spain and I go to my conservatory and I see these kids that are in fifth and sixth grade, which is the last two grades before they are graduated. I tell them that first of all, it's so important the warm up that they take the enough time before class to really warm up their body, each different group of muscles, from their feet, their toes, their hands, their knees, everything is so important that they feel they don't go to the bar directly, that show us on the studio 5 minutes before and they just go on to take the classes. Because once you become older, you realize how important are those things to warm up first, and after every single class is very important to stretch because I'm saying from a place where I was somebody that I didn't care about warming up or stretch. And once I turned 20, now I'm 28, but once I turned 20, I started to realize that my body wasn't able to recover as it was supposed to because I was like, I'm 20, how is it possible? And after all these years starting to really like warm up and stretch, I was like, I wish I started before doing all of this, and probably my body would be even in a better place that is right now because it really helps to prevent injuries. Your body's gonna be more ready to any situation because you go to stage and during the performance anything can happen. Somebody can get injured, the curtain falls, there is an issue with wardrobe, no, with the costumes, anything. So you have to be ready to go for everything. So it's very important to be aware of your area and everything that is going around you. And I think be prepare for any situation is part of our job. So I really encourage to every single kid or pre-professional person that wants to approach to become a professional dancer to really like take care of their bodies, what they eat, what they drink. Because it's a very short career. We are not gonna be 50 unless we are Bobby, who is a legend in the company. But aside of him, it's so unusual. So we should really take care and give a lot of love to our body so we can be ready for anything.
As a dancer in this company, you take on the task of performing one of your dual personas, either the male or female persona. every night, along with the role of the ballet that you are cast in. Can you share more about your personas?
It's a very funny thing when I joined and discover all of this because I wasn't aware that they have their own, ballerina male dancer's name. I was like, what is going on? What is all this about? And so when I discovered that well, my name in this case is Holiday Abroad. I'm a male persona. It's Bruno Bak and I was like, who comes out with these names? Who decided? And I heard that it was Tori decision. And later on, I discovered that every single name, every single persona has a small biography description or their characters. And first of all, I'm the first holiday abroad of the company. When I read down my biography, because basically what they say about Holly is that Miss Holiday Abroad lacks of the intelligence and the talent to be able to perform. And since she's missing this intelligence and lack of talent, she does not realize that she's not good for dancing. But suddenly she auditioned for Trockadero and she joined. So it's very like kind of like what is going on? And kind of the history with Bruno Bafengisik is he's like German guy. Well, actually, Befengisik, it means like kind of you get sick in German. So it's very funny history. So apparently he is a guy that who had a lot of money, but he betrays their colleagues to be able to get all the money for himself. So he's a very ambitious person, and he just like to dance as well. So it's a very like nonsense thing, but it makes it so funny because every single one of us we have very they have very funny names. Like we have like Helen High Waters, or we have Olga Supozova or Ales Nitsova. Like every single of those names are like very funny, very hilarious, and each one of them they have their own background history. So it was very interesting. I don't know how actually they came out with this idea of giving names to us, but I think it makes us, it's just you go on stage and I'm not anymore Felix. I'm depends if I'm the female, the male character. I'm Holly or I'm Bruno. So I'm trying to get in the mind how Holly will perform Swan Lake tonight, or how Bruno is gonna perform the Prince in Raimonda tonight. So really like I listen to what Holly and what Bruno they are feeling that night, and I try to give my best every time that we go out to stage.
How do you balance the comedic elements with the ballet technique in your performance?
That's probably I think the biggest challenge that Trocadero has because if you go into more, let's say, like call it more regular ballet or traditional ballet dance company, your job is to be focused on the technical aspects, to performing to deliver the best that you can. But in Trocadero, is not only about the technique; it's about showing because we use this all-time ballet and we take them to the extreme level. For example, Paquita, all the positions that we have, they are in extreme position compared to any regular ballet dance company. Those positions you are not gonna see it in any other company than us. Not only the position and not only the technique, we have to be smiling every single time because the most important thing for us is to give joy to the people who is watching us. It's not only to show that we are great dancers. We of course we're gonna show them and it's important. But I think for us the most important thing is that they leave the theater with a smile in their faces and they have a great time with us because we have a very diverse audience. That's the good thing about Trockadero because it's not only we are gonna see another scene of Swan Lake, like because you can see different ballets, like you can see them in Royal Ballet, that you can see it in American Ballet Theater, but the way that we deliver those ballets are unique. There's nobody in the business that does what we do, so we have to have in mind that and really like so we really need to perform in the best way possible, not only the technique side but the humor, the parody, the comedy side of that, the actor that is inside of us because we want to communicate something not only with our bodies, with our technique, with our dance, is with our own selves to give them the best that we can to every single one of them.
If you're a dancer who's feeling lost, overwhelmed, or even just unsure about your next career step, I am here for you. As a former professional ballet dancer turned dance career mentor, I help dancers get clear on what they really want out of their careers and build a real, actionable strategy to get them there. Whether you need help setting goals, planning for auditions, navigating mindset blocks, or just having someone in your corner who gets what you're going through and can hold you accountable, mentorship can make all the difference. If you're curious about whether working with a dance career mentor is the right fit for you, I offer a complimentary career consultation so we can talk through your unique goals and challenges. Just head to the show notes to schedule your consultation and let's build the dance career you've been dreaming about. Do you think that parody and humor are really effective ways to make classical ballet more accessible for people who maybe have not seen ballet or who think ballet is too elitist for them?
100%. I think, as I said before, we have a very diverse audience, in not only in terms of age, because we can see or show people from kids, from more adult people, but everybody is able to see the trucks for two reasons. First is because you can be a lover of ballet, so you're gonna have a good time watching us doing the big ballets, Swan Lake, Nutcracker, Pekita. And at the same time, since we do humor and we do jokes inside of our shows, maybe somebody that is like, well, I don't really care much about ballet, but somebody can say, it's not only ballet, guys, like those guys are comedy actors. They really do jokes during the show and they make you laugh. They really make you have a laugh during the show, and they're like, okay, so that gives us a chance to have a more diverse audience, as I said before, and we are more able to reach more people in that sense. I think it's very important so people can see a different side from ballet and not only seen from the side of, okay, so it's gonna be a very, it's only gonna be about ballet. It's not only about the ballet. It's about give the people who come to see us the best time possible, and that they see something that they're not gonna see anywhere else, and that they see our, because we only do not perform one ballet, so we do different acts of ballet, so we give them a diverse show, and every single night is going to be a different ballet, or at least they're not all the ballets are going to be the same. So we give a chance to the audience to see different areas and different type of ballets in a different perspective from what they could expect to be delivered from another company.
Do you have any favorite comedians that you take inspiration from?
Well, of course, I have a very like in my case, I have from Spain. I have very like a couple of comedians, like actors that normally they perform comedy. They are very good and very funny. But mostly, to be honest, in order to deliver my character, it was more, yeah, more related to what I did feel since I started to work in this company, like how this character was gonna get through, the journey and through the years after, because I joined back in 2019, so it has been a while. So I have seen different, different faces from Holly and different faces of Bruno. It has been a lot of having my own exercise with myself, trying to discover what else can I reach from then, and what else I can show to the audience that they haven't seen from Holly, or what how Holly is feeling every single night, and what this character wants to communicate that night. It depends of the night. It depends on what we are performing. We do a lot of swan legs, but for me, every single swan leg is it feels different. If not only because how your body is feeling, is how your emotional state is feeling that day, because it's part of how you perform in this case. Since we have this those personas, they are influenced by how that day I'm feeling and how I'm gonna deliver those roles. So of course, I think it was important to discover myself through those personas, and probably the holiday abroad is gonna happen. It's gonna perform tonight. It doesn't have anything in common with the holiday that performed 4 years ago.
When you come on your tour to Madison, Wisconsin, and we see you here, what roles will you be performing and what should audiences expect to see?
So if I'm completely short, definitely we are gonna perform Swan Lake. I'm gonna be Swan number one. So I'm gonna be right at the front since we start. I'm gonna perform Four Little Swans, which is an special from the Swan Lake from Trockadero. Is a unique thing that everybody are expecting to see. We will be performing as well Paquita, which is a Spanish ballet kind of. It was created during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, and it takes part in a city from Spain called Zaragoza, which is a very glamorous. For me, it's actually the big star ballet from the company. It's my favorite one from the repertoire of Trocadero. I think it's the most joyful one because we have our necklace pieces with our earrings, with our crowns. So it's a very a special one, and I think it's one that the audience love to see. And it's a surprise, so I cannot really say everything that we're gonna perform, but I'm just gonna say that on the second part of the show, there's gonna be some surprises that I hope everybody in Madison are ready and expected to seek.
Do you have a favorite role that you've ever performed in the company?
Favorite role? Good question. I have favorite ballets, but for example, I'm each character, each ballet, each character from each ballet, they give me something different that other roles does not give it to me. So in my case, as I said, Paquita probably is my favorite one from the repertoire of Trocadero. But every single of those roles give me something different. Like I have the privilege in Swan Lake to almost have done every single spot since the Prince, since any of the Swan Corps. I have done Big Swan. I have done Beno. Beno is one of the most hilarious and funny ones to have. I have done the Prince in Raimonda, which is another role that I really enjoyed. In the more the technical side, probably one of the hardest challenge is to perform Pas de Quatre, which is a big ballet from the company, and I have the privilege to have done Lucille Graham, which have a very hard and tough variation. It's a tough ballet, but every single one of them are special, and they always have a special place in my heart.
Last question I have for you that I like to ask all of my guests. If you could give aspiring pre professional dancers who are pursuing their dance career one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Well, definitely they need to follow their dreams. In this world, we are probably gonna have more no's than yes. So we cannot stop pursuing our dreams. It's a very hard world. It's not only about the dance world. If you go to singers, to actors, the art world is a very complicated world where I think sadly doesn't have the support that we should have. So it's very a challenging world because there's first of all each new generation it's coming more talented, more creative. Those I see these guys, in these competitions, and I'm like, oh my God, like 10 years ago, the 15 years old guys were not performing, not only in the technical way, on the artistic way, as good as they are doing this new generation of kiddos performing. And I'm like, I'm mesmerizing. I'm like, how a 15 years, for example, let's put an example, like how a 15 years old girl can perform and deliver the emotion of Giselle variation, which has a very important very delicate way of being performed. And these kids with 14, 15 years old, it's not only about technique, it's like, how in the world? So it's getting more challenging. So I think it's very important that they believe in their dreams, that they believe in themselves, that they should not, just after one try or two tries, just start to pursuing their dreams. They really need to go all the way in. They have to work very hard because mostly, let's say 90% of the entire career is about how hard is your work. And of course, there is a side where, luck or the natural talent that you have, of course, that helps. But it's the most important thing is your work, your dedication, your passion, your focus. And as I said, in your life, you're going to have many more no's than yeses. So you should not stop believing in yourself and really try your best. and really think that at some point, somewhere, there's gonna be a spot for you, definitely.
This has been amazing, Felix. Thank you for all of your wisdom. If anyone listening wants to learn more about you or more about the Trocks, where can we find you?
So you can see us on Instagram, the Trocks, or you can just tag at the Ballet Trockadero de Monte Carlo, and you will have updates of every perform that we're gonna be doing during this year or even next year. How you want, if you want to be part of the company. Everything is on Instagram or in our website, in Trocadero or RG. So you can really follow us in through our journey where we are gonna be performing. If we are looking for discovering new talent, of course, and definitely, I'm hoping that people can really continue watching us and pushing us to perform all around the world, because we are the first ones who are very glad and very happy to bring joy to every single place in the world. Because right now, with this situation in the world, I think it's very important that we give joy and hope to every single one that is going through a bad time. So that, and I think it's part of her job to doing that.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And for anyone listening, I will be doing a ticket giveaway with the Overture Center for the Madison performance on February 26th. So definitely head to my Instagram, the Brainy Ballerina, to see how you could win tickets to see their performance in Madison. And if you're not local to this area, definitely check out the website. I'll put it all in the show notes to see where else the tracks will be coming. Thank you, Felix, for all your time today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Brainy Ballerina Podcast. If you found this episode insightful, entertaining, or maybe a bit of both, I would so appreciate you taking a moment to leave a rating and hit subscribe. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll join our community of dancers passionate about building a smart and sustainable career in the dance industry. Plus, your ratings help others discover the show too. I'll be back with a new episode next week. In the meantime, be sure to follow along on Instagram at The Brainy Ballerina for your daily dose of dance career guidance.